Okay, so it's Friday night. It's a very good Friday night because Garth happens to be 1 year uninterrupted, thorough, proper recovery, sobriety, and no drugs, and he's been living in the solution for the last year instead of contributing to the problem, and so that's lekker. We'll go into that a little bit more as we go into our share and chat here this evening. And yeah, always good to be good and blessed for me to be sober on a Friday night with all the chaos and things that we come from. I'm sitting next to a classic example of you weren't the only one that was called a menace to society in your past, Garth, but yeah, we've all been called all different names. Hi Renette, it's I'll try and say good evening to everybody as we go along. It's lovely to see the orange ribbons. That's how we know that we're carrying the message. And yeah, I think Garth and his family is a classic example of how the message gets carried, and and the appreciation thereof. I stopped today outside Garth's mom to pick up Garth, and the first thing that his mom said to me was thank you to yourself and Mr. Hall. Thank you that I've got my son back.
I think she started tearing.
There were tears in your mom's eyes.
Yeah.
Almost made me cry, because I know where Garth comes from, and it's amazing. It's amazing to there's funny sides of the stories as well, but I mean, myself and Garth met up in prison in early 2010, when we were still both heavy on the juice. We knew each other before that, and we happened to be on different sections where we ended up on the sort of same visitation day, where I had caused so much heartache and shit, where it took my dad 5 months.
Yeah.
5 months to come and visit me in prison. Sorry, I might hack a little bit because I know where we come from, man. I know where we come from and the shit that we caused and the people that we hurt. And this program of and this message of hope that Mr. Hall has carried to us as really I watched Garth go from a very dark place, a very, very dark and hurtful place. Can you check all the orange ribbons? That's amazing, man.
There's a lot.
Yo, lekker. And so I want to start off over there by well done, Garth, and thank you, Mr. Hall, for, I've been to a lot of recovery programs and a lot of recovery attempts, and for me that has got 20 years experience of not only bad things but a lot of bad things, of chaos, and eventually getting to a point where I didn't know the way out, to a guy like yourself, Garth, that is 1 year sober. That is just by following our guidelines and suggestions and things like that, through a program that has been carefully and really intensely developed through Mr. Hall's own 15 years of experience in addiction recovery, and probably about 20 years experience before that, where you just don't learn those things at other places and from other people, so thank you, Mr. Hall,
Thank you, Mr. Hall.
for one thing that
And in the beginning I thought I wouldn't get it into my head, I remember I used to come to you and ask you, how long is this going to take?
for sure.
And I couldn't understand why I'm not falling in with the guys. But just one day I woke up and I just started understanding how recovery is lived. It's not something that just comes overnight.
And that's the thing, Garth. We say it takes a while for the penny to drop and things like that. But I think the main thing, my bro, is that your expectation and your focus was just on recovery, man.
Correct.
It needs to be that first all the time. And the good thing on your mom's part, Auntie Jean, is that you weren't running up and down with parcels every week.
Yeah.
Garth had to practice his life skills and his budget that he was taught you. But the most important is that I think you came here for the right reasons to begin with, Garth.
Correct.
We've had people that, and I must tell you that this is the most rewarding part. We've got two people that came through the program. We've got two people that came through the program who is 1 year sober today. Today. One from like Garth that was 30 years. Almost 30 years. Sorry, I'm making you sound old here, but
That's 25 because I'm 41. It's about 25 years heavy on the juice.
Heavy on the juice.
Heavy on the juice.
And so that's sort of where we're at, and the other one was living on Bellville Station, Bellville taxi rank, and Mr. Hall fully sponsored Jared and looked after him. There isn't people that do that, and
He sponsored me 100% or so, bro.
sure, and that is amazing, that's one part of it, and I must tell you that this is probably the most rewarding part of, if you want to call it, industry of life saving, and because very little people actually see and acknowledge how much and what we do behind the scenes,
Yeah.
and you can check out the other comments are flying up here,
popping,
Garth,
it's flying. For Friday night, we got 91 live here. Jeez. When it started, we were getting like 20 people.
and
It's
you
amazing how
really
this
got
group has grown, though.
you really got a story of hope, and I'm seeing orange ribbons on just about everybody that I like, and this is a group for people to connect and things like that. So again, I say like well done, Garth, and spend 6 months here, spend 6 months at home, also in direct contact with us and things like that. Didn't like me every day, didn't like what myself and Mr. Wall had to say every day, but what we said, at least you were man enough to take the suggestions.
Always.
And even up until 2 days ago, Garth still communicates with me over the phone, and that's what we encourage, is that when you come to speed bumps and things like that you need to handle, you never left here with a mentality of sort of going to go live in the mountains with the Rastas
Oh, no.
and grow herbs,
That's not going to work.
because where would you charge your laptop for gaming then? You know what I mean?
You have to get a big solar panel, bro.
Okay.
I'm sure the Russians are against that.
So it's the most rewarding to see this, but it's also the most unappreciated sense where we get remarks from people where they paid for our service. Now, I also want to tell you that Garth is one side of it, and our success story is the one side of it. Like Richie, that also came from completely nothing, got his wrestling colours back again, and Graham, thanks Felicity. I know Felicity has been a social media supporter of mine, even when I didn't have access to social media, because I was a danger to myself on social media, and the stories like Graham, Angus, Lincoln, who's going to start studying soon, the things like that Mr. Hall teaches us about. One thing that stands out about Mr. Hall is respect your mother and father, and he doesn't compromise on that. And the basic thing is that we can only teach these principles here, we can only encourage it, but the thing is that not everybody wants what we got and is willing to go to any lengths to get it. But I can promise you, if you do want what we got, which is a new freedom, which is able to make connections and decisions and go through things without picking up drugs or without having a little boy's attitude, like complaining. I don't know, you know, when we like you know, when your car, Garth, just got fixed and things like that. Obviously it must have been nerve-wracking for your mother, but you didn't shrug your shoulders and have a little pissy tantrum and throw a tantrum because you couldn't just drive here, there and everywhere.
No,
Because
my mother
because
drives me
mom
now everywhere.
because
everywhere.
mom took responsibility,
Yes.
and you were going to her house.
Yes.
And you were going to her house, you know, so your mom's house, your mom's rules.
Correct.
Finish and clear, you know. And once that sets in with the parents, first of all, then half the battle is won. You know, we've then obviously had parents and people and families and loved ones that have said, like, we've paid for the service and things like that, and made dentist appointments, and then just told us that we need to get the people there, that expected us to after 6 months go through their phones and things like that, to look for their CVs. We kept them out of Paulsmore, some of them.
But this is
You know?
the dentist.
No, it's not the dentist. We need to focus on our recovery first, because would we have went to the dentist? Would we been willing to go any lengths to go to the dentist when as willing as what we were to go to the dealer?
The dealer.
You know? Were we as willing to go to rehab when we didn't have a court case? And you know, we've given scope to everybody here. There's been people over here that's run their own businesses from here. There's been people that we always teach them, whether you're mopping the mall or managing the mall, it's to get into the rhythm of life again. But if they do not want to do that, and they are not willing to take our suggestions here, like one oak went home the other day and his mom was asking us why he didn't brush his teeth when he went home.
But how old is this guy? Like, he's 12.
You know, and no, we don't really do under 18s, but
Okay.
but we can help, you know. And mom's house, mom's rules. But I remember at the beginning of this Oaks recovery, mom was running up and down with parcels every week, you know. So well done, Auntie Jean, for staying in contact with us. Your appreciation is really, it's taken in, and it hits home and it's shown. But the rudeness and the expectation of some of the families, you know, maybe they need a little bit of recovery themselves, because, you know, in our recovery books and what we send to the people and what we encourage the people to read as they go through the program is that you don't get some kind of certificate to say that you've done a recovery program when you're done here. You get the fruits from you keeping the discipline that is taught here. And going over and above. I went to Paulsmore for 3 months for a possession case. You know, and that was a big part of my lesson. That was a massive part of my lesson.
Daughters of champions.
I didn't have the luxury of Mr. Hall going out of his way at all hours of the day, not office hours, all hours of the day, and getting me out of prison. I didn't have that luxury, you know. But at the same time, yes, for sure, my own fault. I had cut off my own lines and things like that. Okay, the dogs are tripping, but it's Friday night. As long as we're not tripping, Garth, you know what I mean?
Tripping.
Lucky to see so many people watching here.
Addicts like chaos. That's one thing.
Yeah, addicts love chaos. You know, but honestly speaking now, Garth, the problem we're facing, and where part of your solution came in, is that you didn't have Auntie Jean interfering every 5 minutes. She left you here. You know, when you go to the doctor, you don't ask the people in the waiting room what is wrong. You wait until you see the doctor and you let the doctor do their job.
Yeah.
You know.
You have to let
And,
you have to believe in the healing to let it work. You can't believe that mommy's gonna heal it for you by bringing you luxuries or things like that. You have to block out all those things. To be honest with you, because you know, I really wanted it, and I wanted recovery for many years, and I was reaching out. I just couldn't find that people to sponsor me, and then just by luck, Ryan came here to this organization, and he spoke to Mr. Schüler and Mr. Hall, and they said, right, make up your mind. You got 12 hours to make up your mind, and in that 12 hours, I had to say yes or no, and I was here 24 hours later, or 48 hours later. So, and that was a year ago, 2 days behind. Huh? Yes. So, it all came very quickly. But I'm happy. This was the best move I've ever done in my life.
So yeah, you know, I obviously I've been burning with this because as everybody knows that I was doing a lot of groundwork on the farm and things like that. I was appointed general manager a while back, and then Mr. Hall promoted me to just about fully running RAEL, and also to give me exposure of what he done on the farm and off the farm and all of that. And I was down in Cape Town now for 4 days, sorry, and still seen a lot of parents, a lot of interaction, a lot of inquiries, a lot of speaking to people. Where we don't run a female facility, but we're always willing to help and guide and things like that. But what burns inside of me is that how can the son be great when we're getting comments from the mother or the family that they paid for a service? If you go and read our basic application forms, we help get IDs after a certain amount of time. We help get jobs. We help people develop themselves and things like that. But we can assist because we believe that our facility works better than prison.
Correct.
And it kind of worked better for me and for you than prison, eh?
Much better.
And we get phone calls on Friday nights and things like that. That other people would only answer during office hours. That even our lawyers and things that we work with are willing to take our calls and go the extra few miles for that person. But the disappreciation of people that have been through the program, because I'm sitting here this evening, the first thing at the top of my gratitude list is that I'm sober tonight.
Amen.
And as I seen the comments popping up there, thanks Auntie Melanie. I'm sure, you one of the people that know where myself and Garth come from. I know that you don't know every single in and out, but you know enough to know how badly addiction had us by the balls, and it's lovely to have you commenting and thank you. That comment about us and Buddhism.
Yeah.
Because people wouldn't give us the time of day there because of our actions and our... We're dealing with addiction. We're dealing with addiction. If there was one answer to it, or if there was so much people working on it and so many solutions, then why is there so many addicted people? You know, we didn't only do drugs, but that is eventually what people seen us for. Hey,
Hey.
come on. Hey,
Gracie. Like
Gracie's been with me for just over 5 years, so she's also used to a bit of chaos on a Friday night. And yeah, you know, I just wanted to get that burning issue of the
disappreciation.
of the people that have got no gratitude. They've got no gratitude, man. And this isn't some kind of service that you pay for, man. It's our lives at stake here. We go the extra mile here all the time. People don't pay us to go do driver's licenses and stuff like that. But we try and set people up so that they can live a better life and do things in the right way. We try and set people up and teach them proper morals and values, that when they've done something wrong, they know how to correct it. We try and teach them the life skills. But if they're closed-minded and don't have any gratitude for life itself, and neurotic and don't want to work on themselves, because sometimes they're the problem, man. In most cases, parents aren't the problem, and it's not your fault, parents. But in some, I have to question it, man. We're grown-up men here. And in the first place, we should appreciate our parents, like it's taught here, that they're giving us a second chance. My greatest loss was my teeth, Garth. That's the thing I'm most pissed off about, is that I've got false teeth.
You told me not
That I lost my teeth to addiction. But you know what? Some people like me had to lose my teeth to realize that, and I'm not even joking here, that the first thing I still do in the morning now, I know it's a bit late, it's a bit late, is brush my false teeth and my gums. Because we taught routine here, but I need to be open-minded and willing to do it. We've got Auntie Michelle visiting here this evening. That's why we don't see her name on the live recovery.
Yeah, people must be wondering where she is tonight.
People must have thought that you are doing a live show tonight at Mavericks, Auntie Michelle. That's only a joke, people. Auntie Michelle says that she got the night off, and it's lovely to have that here. You know, we've done the same for all families. You know, and even some of them. Even during lockdown, we invited them and had their whole family here for breakfast to get out of the isolation and sit around the table and to reconnect and things like that. But just like when the guys write their journals, I can't force the pen in their hand and get the stuff out of their mind written on the paper, man. Just like I can't force a toothbrush into a grown man's hand.
To brush his teeth, come on.
But I can teach him here that I lost my teeth from not brushing it and not listening to the people on the program. And that's why we need to interact. And that's why there's parents on here taking suggestions from other parents.
There's my mom.
There's your mom. Hi guys. Now I've seen your mom come up on there earlier. And you know, I think Auntie Jean and even Auntie Michelle, Wendy Lockett, who gave a amazing share. Even Auntie Jill's name that you see pop up here, and a few others. I don't mean to forget anybody's names, but there's also a little bit of long-term substance abuse that's been done to my brain. So if I've missed anybody, you know, speak to Richard Ferreira's mom, connect with my mom, and you don't always need to think you're right, man. Because it says, yeah, Garth, you just keep on the.
I'm just reading here all the comments.
Read the comments and things like that. I'll go through the comments afterwards. I'm a good couple of years still a bit Mr. Hall's 15 years more unfried than me. You know, where he can read the comments
How do
and
you
comment
unfry a
back.
scrambled egg? I don't know.
The only thing that can be unfried is a fried person from drugs that comes into recovery and takes our suggestions. But some of us are underdone here, you know what I mean? Some are medium rare and some are charred. But progress, not perfection. You know, I just want to read something quickly that it says in the family afterwards, and that's usually what I send out to the parents and encourage them, if they take our suggestions, that they should connect on these groups and speak to each other, instead of thinking that we're better or different from each other.
Auntie Michelle, Felicity says hello. Hi Felicity.
And I'm looking for the page, but I've read it so many times, is that it says that, you know, most families as a whole has become ill in some kind of way through the loved one's addiction. Whether it's a father, whether it's a son, whether it's a mother, a sister, whatever the case might be. Garth, say you love Richie.
I love Richie, of course.
Richie was also totally buggered.
Richie, I've got
don't
a
wanna
job. I've got
swear.
a job for you.
Because
Faceboards.
we don't swear at RAEL.
Get back to me, please. This lady needs a faceboards painted, and I said I got a guy who knows painting. Okay, so you must go quote it for me when you got time.
So Gladwin is staying sober. You know, Johan left the other day in good spirits. Got an amazing message from his parents. You know, 2 teachers that teach and obviously deal with people. And I want the parents to remember, you know, and maybe Auntie Jean and my mom and Auntie Michelle and all of that can maybe agree with us that people send their kids here where we sort of max on 30. We don't really go over 30, including the sober living members and things like that, where the parents couldn't handle one of us, God.
Sure.
My parents couldn't handle one of me, man. You know? So we don't close office at 5 o'clock and then go home and sit on our cell phone and think. I'm not saying that everybody else does that, but there are that do that instead of not more and connecting and we encourage connection for a reason, man, because we see what it does for your mom, God. We see what it does for Auntie Michelle. We see what it does even for Joni as Richie's girlfriend. You know, finding out more about the addiction and asking us questions and things like that. And yes, for sure, you know, the parent that I'm speaking about in specific used to
all good Garth, but later.
Sorry, this is still burning with me. Used to ask me questions and things like that. But we're dealing with 30 people that you couldn't handle one of, you know. And that's why we encourage this support. That's why we encourage the orange ribbon. That doesn't have to say RAEL on it. But maybe Auntie Michelle or any other parent struggling with it can see the orange ribbon and can connect with each other. Because the names that I see pop up are the oaks that have come through the program, like yourself, Jared, like you, Clutchy, like Gladwin, like Garth, like Richie, like Justin Portkita, like Freddie, like Kyle, like Graham that I seen whose name popped up here earlier. That's been here for 5 years and he's still listening to Mr. Hall. I'm still listening to Mr. Hall. Richie's still very in close contact with Mr. Hall. And Mr. Hall doesn't get paid to listen to us when we got issues or to give advice. He gives it because he has the advice to give. But sometimes as well, there's a problem with the parents when they say that we don't answer them at 6:30 on a Monday morning. You know why? Because we're dealing with 30 people at 6:30 on a Monday morning. You know? And then they ask the same questions right throughout the day. And instead should be asking why, the reason why they don't have the answer is because not that they need to ask and ask and ask, but they need to just wait for the answers sometimes, because we will get there.
I love this place. Unlimited Coke.
Our women folk have suggested certain attitudes a wife, a mother, or any loved one should take with a husband or son or person in recovery when they're coming out of a rehab. And first of all, bottom line is, parents, it is your house. Don't be afraid to test your kids. It is your house, okay? Straight. Another one that I left out there, and I'm very sorry about, is Auntie Karen October, who's got a lot of knowledge and wisdom and heartache that has been turned to peace through connection and identification with people with orange ribbons and things like this on this group. Has walked a long road, a long road, and come a far way.
Richie says he misses the conversations around the table.
Oh, yo, Richie. You know, I miss that
banging on the table.
That banging on the table. But we love Mr. Hall, but honestly, because it's an honest program, I didn't always like what he said to me. But now when you get the fruits of trying what he says, it just makes you love him more.
The way Mr. Hall approaches things, it didn't scare it into me. I'm actually it did scare it into me. Because my father, Dad not pulling you down, he didn't have that, hey, if you don't do it this way, you know what I mean? That's what Prince in here.
Yeah, you see, Garth,
You know what I mean?
I believe that maybe our generation and things like that, the generation before us had stern discipline, had stern respect and things like that. And for them growing up, just like I've got 2 kids, Garth.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously don't wish addiction upon anybody's kids or even less on my own, which may sound a bit selfish, but I think that in some sense, because they're such good people, wanted to make it a little bit more lenient for us and make it a little bit easier and make it more comfortable for us in a sense where they gave us better lives and things like that. And in the same way
sometimes we took too much.
In the same way, I was gonna say now that when they gave us the chair, we took the table chairs and the whole fucking dinner set as well.
And wanted to take the cash converter.
Sorry, I said I don't swear anymore.
It's fine.
But neither does Richie. I checked there, he's got the stars.
What will you leave with?
When you leave the house and you found on kak. No, Mr. Hall's going to tell you about it. But that's the lovely part. Because if you don't have anybody telling you about it, then how are you going to know that you're caught on kak?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Lekker, Richie.
Lekker.
And I think in the household, you know, we obviously need to find common ground and things like that, where it involves a process of deflation everywhere. So it's mom, dad, or stepmom, stepdad, whoever's in the household. Everybody needs to just not everybody's ideas is all right. All right, I mean, not all right. Everybody's ideas is fine. But Myra, because if parents can do a better job, why send their kids to rehab? You know,
lives became unmanageable.
They send their kids to rehab because first of all, most of the people in the generation before us haven't dealt with addiction themselves, and second of all, the identification process is that my parents and the people that haven't been through addiction, like the counselors and the psychologists and things like that, can't identify with what I'm feeling and how I'm feeling, because I suffer with something that is it's emotionally, mentally, spiritually sick. It warps my thinking, it changes my priorities, because people can't understand why when I'm in active addiction, why I would rather go buy drugs before baby food if I have a baby. You know?
Well, baby must wait.
Yeah, you know what I
No,
mean?
get
That's the
high
way
now.
that's the way addiction
You
works.
don't get high now.
And
Sicker.
and parents don't always know how to deal with it. And that's why they seek advice. So years of living with an alcoholic or addict is most sure to make any wife, and I just say wife or partner or child or anybody, neurotic. The entire family, you know, father's been unhappy because he's got a little bit more boundaries and things like that. Mom's been in the middle of things in most cases, and there comes a time not only for the addict but for the whole family. That's why we say that that's an illness that affects the whole family. If nothing changes, nothing changes. So I'm only responsible for changing my part. I can't fix the damage that I've done. Besides me just doing the best I can and continue doing the right thing in going forward, or doing my best to do the right thing in going forward, in recovery terms, to make amends.
Okay.
It would be impossible for me to sort of pay back everything and to, but the way I make amends now is by carrying the message, you know, and I see it in Mr. Hall's recovery. He's taught us over here the way that he makes amends by all the wrong and hurt and heartache that he caused through his active addiction to people and to loved ones, is by carrying the message to other people, by uplifting the community, by carrying the message to the oak at the robots, or to help the next one that is struggling. That's how we give back. That's why Mr. Hall stays on his mission, because it sort of balances the tables for the cuck that we cause. That's why I keep on over here. Thanks, Richie.
Yeah, you did.
Richie, you got one hell of a message yourself, brother. And so, you know, in 2020, in today's world, just take this, what I'm telling you now. We're dealing with drug addiction, okay? Garth abused drugs for 25 years, and he's 1 year sober today.
It's the longest sober time I've had, like,
And
since I can remember.
you know, it's one of the most cases. Yeah, the only time that I was 10 years sober was, no, not when I was 10 years old, because I wasn't sober at 10.
I wasn't even sober in jail, because jail drugs run freely.
I was 9 years sober once when I was 9 years old, Banner.
Yeah.
And
I've always had an addictive personality. So whatever came my way, I just wanted more.
and it goes full circle, you know, by Mr. Hall following his calling into carrying the message and to doing what he's doing now. And you know, we don't advertise how we help people to glorify ourselves. That isn't what we do.
Okay.
We advertise so that somebody that was maybe in the same situation as yourself, Garth.
That's why I post every month on my sobriety date, like a
Because somebody's
just like a
sitting,
journal to see.
somebody's at home now on a Friday night sitting with an alcoholic person in their life, or a drugged, paranoid isolated son, or a son in prison, or going through that. They know what we've been through because they're busy going through it, and it restores their hope for their family. I mean, the greatest gift for your mom and your family must be to have Garth.
Yeah.
You know, and that's amazing. That
That's
is
why
amazing.
I keep trying to reach out to, especially my friends. Lots of druggies. I keep trying to like tell them, look here, if I can do it and I've come this far, don't be afraid to contact me because I can get you into the right channels. You know what I mean? And I applaud anybody out there who's struggling. If you struggle to speak to your parents, pick up your Facebook, look me up on Facebook, and I will speak to the right guys and get you connected with RAEL. It's easy. I want everyone to you know live their lives. I'm 1 year today, and
Yeah.
the next time I share, I'll be 1 year, 1 month, and every month I want you just to follow me on Garth Ilario, Facebook.com. And what's it? Click like if you what's it? Click share if you like this.
Sure.
Now we're having fun here today, really. I am. Thank you, Kurt, for having me back.
Yeah, you know, and it's amazing to see Garth. Even we had our doubts about you in the beginning and things like that. But you know, sorry people for. I just called it like it is, and I just had to get that off my chest. That that to see those tears in your mom's eyes this morning, Garth.
It's not that she's so grateful for what you've done for them. You know
saying thank you the way she did, and those are the things that keep us going forward,
it's
man.
happy tears, though. It's happy tears. The sad tears
Because
are gone.
I had to put me, and I still had an hour's drive to Worcester with you in the car, and I didn't want you to walk through my emotion. But I was sitting with you in the car, and as I was driving along the mountains, I thought, like, yo, no man, what is going on here? And I had to slip once or twice when I was looking at you, you're taking pictures with your phone, and you're so rustig, and it's Friday afternoon. And when I used to bump into Garth on a Friday afternoon, it was usually when I was walking over the bridge.
It would be my 7th or 8th trip already over the bridge. So I got a call. That time, he never had a call that time.
Now
But if I seen him, I pull over straight anytime.
And you know, we were sleepwalking into chaos and going back and isolating. Yo. So that was like there was a moment where myself and Garth.
Kurt's ignoring me. Who's that?
I don't know. So there was. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, sorry, Myra. That is the whole point of our story as well. Thanks for that, Myra. I didn't understand your question there, and that's the thing, you know. There's so much interference, but the biggest burning issue that I had was that disappreciation, because as I was saying, that moment when I looked over at Garth today on our drive up here, and I thought, yo, you know, how blessed are we compared to the oaks standing at the robots, compared to the families going through turmoil this evening, compared to the families that are going to get phone calls tonight to say that their loved one didn't make it because of addiction, the organs that are failing, or the chaos in the homes, the mothers and the fathers that are seeing their son isolate in his room, just on the computer, or watching porn, or stealing from them, and all of that. And I asked myself, I looked at Garth and I thought, fuck, how did I get here? You know? And I was going through the names, and I was thinking, shit, where these people came from. But the difference was where the people are at.
A lot of our friends dead, eh?
There's a lot of our friends dead,
Yeah.
and I was thinking about all the guys that are making it, and which is most of them really, that come through the program and listen and take instruction and all of that. And I thought to myself, yo, Mr. Hall, how is it that the whole thing of just the way the world works and the timing and all of that we crossed paths and that you had been through what you've been through. It's all part of God's plan and purpose, eh?
This morning, Facebook gives you like a
Wait, I just want to find Diana's comment here. Okay, Garth, you can speak. I
okay,
just wanna...
from your post, okay? It gives you like 7 years ago what you
Good
posted.
grief.
And on the 23rd of today, I posted something to my mother saying that hopefully one day in the future I'll be a better son.
Okay, wait. Okay, finish there. Okay, wait. I'll hold that.
And it came true. I said, look here, mommy. How is this? On my sobriety date, I posted something 7 years ago saying that hopefully one day in the future, mommy, I'll be a better son for you. And look at it now.
I remember 5 years ago you inboxed me when I was working here.
But then I really didn't know what, yeah.
And I think you were just looking for the absence of pain at the time, not real recovery.
Correct.
Diana, do you find the demanding parents have the more difficult kids? Definitely.
Definitely, yeah.
The demanding parents who think that they have the answers. If you had the answers, then why send them to us? And the parents that say we don't answer them, or they have to resend their messages and things like that, or they don't wait for the answer. That's why they have to resend the message. They don't have to resend the message because the message is sent there to us already. So what happens is they don't have the patience to wait for the answer. And yeah, definitely the more demanding parents and shitty attituded parents and ungrateful parents, we've kept some people's kids out of prison. I went to the traffic department, myself and Mr. Hall. Mr. Hall, that is very busy. When I say 24/7, I mean 24/7. When I say that he's on the road sometimes during curfew, reaching out to people, stuff like that, I mean it. Myself and Mr. Hall went to the traffic department ourselves the other day to try and help somebody, and there was no parking there. There was no parking. There was people standing far outside, and these things don't get recognized by the parents and things like that. That's not on our application forms, man. Tell us you paid for that service. Good thing I'm in recovery, Diana. You know what I mean? Because I've got a bit of a filter now. And lots of respect. So definitely, and yeah, it's okay. Orange ribbon, Lynn, and all the other orange ribbons that we see there. Wendy's got a big RAEL thing on. Garth, proud of you, Garth. Keep it up. A huge thank you to Anthony Hall. You really changed my son's life by giving him a chance and believing in him. Thank you, Kurt, for always being there for Garth. So we interact to the people that reach out, like Johan's parents took our suggestions and things like that, and he's doing amazingly well. That is really, really nice people. Both school teachers, it must be cuck hard in today's world, eh?
Yeah.
To be school teacher in today's world, very difficult. And very supportive, not demanding, amazing people. That's why you could see where your aunt came from. Diana thought that may be the case. Yeah, no, for sure, Diana. And the difference is over here, but it's a big lack in the world in general, and we are trying to be that difference. That when an application form gets sent through, we send one out, and if we don't get a response, we follow up and we find out, like, hey, are you okay, or whatever, and things like that. And when a message is sent and things like that, we try and involve the families, like we do with the Orange Fridays, with giving the suggestions of the moms connecting and things like that, because we know what works. Because Mr. Hall started this organization 13 years ago, where it was parent support groups. It was five other different support groups for the addicts and alcoholics and substance abusers and so on, for themselves and their parents, and got them all connected. So he knows what works, man. There's oaks that came back to this rehab after 8 years, who used to go to those meetings, and said that while those meetings were happening, took the suggested steps and things like that, and it helped them to stay sober. Because Mr. Hall is speaking out of sheer experience of being both sides of the fence. And go find another person. If you guys can leave your comments, if you know of another person that has 15 years of at least one recovery meeting a day, and proper, active, hardcore, straight recovery, like Mr. Hall's experience, then add their names. Maybe we can learn something from them as well. But to find 15 years of proper, active, hard, real, respected and disciplined, moral and valued sobriety, and that's coming from me, a junkie, if you want to call me that now lives by that very morals, values and respect and discipline that he has, that he teaches. And it's worked for me. It's worked for Garth. It's worked for our slogan is saving lives, uniting families. And we see it materialize all the time, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. And that is the message that I want to carry to you on this Friday night. Is that you can't recover as a family without gratitude, man.
Yeah.
You know? And the families are the people. The families are the people, sons and loved ones that have been through our program.
I also want to thank my parents for being so patient. I mean, I left here 6 months ago during the lockdown, and I have to live with them for the last 6 months, and I mean, they're patient with me. They're not pushing me to get a job, you know, but I need to get a job, but you know,
at the same time, with their boundaries, they haven't just given you free rein.
No, they haven't, not at all. And yeah, I just want to thank my parents for all they do for me, really. I couldn't do it without them, without their support.
Just supporting our bestie.
I don't know what to drink first, the free Coke or the coffee.
Sugar-free Coke. Just supporting our bestie there in the UK,
DJ baby. She was a gallery dancer.
Oh, hectic. And yeah, as I was saying, you know, the people and loved ones of the parents that have been through the program here, we're not the bad guys, man. We're not the bad guys. Maybe you should go and take inventory of yourself and see maybe where you at fault, you know. And just a little heads up is that maybe be grateful and show your gratitude, and don't have a cuck attitude towards the people, any people that have helped you on your way up, because I speak out of experience that you may need them on your way back down.
Yes. Definitely.
And you cannot recover as a family without gratitude.
Definitely.
I'm just struggling to get over this appreciation of some people. But anyway, it's Friday night. It can't bother me because I put my head on the pillow at night, knowing that I've done the best I could. If I didn't, then Michelle wouldn't have had Michael here for just over a year. She wouldn't have been supporting us. Michael's also been to a couple of rehabs. Tank has been here over a year and a half, I think. And Van has been here for coming up 2 years. Richie's sober for 3 years. Why would people like Garth, Gladwin, Clutchy, Kyle, Richie, Justin said he's gonna see us soon. Freddie makes turns here. Graham has just stayed here because of how much he loves life. These are all no chances. People that had no chance at life. That a personal thank you, Mr. Hall, for not giving up on us.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Hall, definitely.
For not giving up on us. You know?
Uncle Anthony.
Yeah.
We love you, Mr. Hall.
And you know, I'm not arrogant, but when people take the suggestions that we give them, then something amazing happens. What works for us starts working for them. Because we're not just doing here what they call in Afrikaans, what they call it, rein losane. We're not just all over the place and yeah, this and that and whatever the case might be. It's strategically planned and worked and sorted out. And each person is an individual here. You know, I was up at a place in Vereniging where I used to cook the pastor breakfast for 5 months. And I think about 3 weeks before I left, one of the sort of head counselors that they advertise on their brochure asked one of the other people there on the program, what's my name again?
Sure, brother. And you work for him.
What's this guy's name again?
And you his manager.
That was only so that they knew what name to put on the progress report. That they were sending to my mother.
Yo.
So we've been to these places. You know, there's quite a popular rehab up in Setchfield that has closed its doors. And many guys have been there. There's another one in the Eastern Cape that had been going for about 20 years, and what I believe that was keeping our recovery rate at 1%. Because they do not put in what we put in here. And when people put into their recovery what we put in and what you've put in, Garth, over the last year.
Thank you, Diana. She doesn't know us, but she's very proud of everything and she follows the photos.
Sure, thank you, Diana. That's amazing. That's carrying the message. I was knocking on death's door when I got here.
You look bad, eh? Yeah. Honestly thought you were dead then, really, because I didn't know where you were back then.
And not many people can say that they've come back from that, because not everybody has had the opportunity to come to a facility like ours.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just need to, without being arrogant, I humbly say that you need to give credit where credit's due. What Mr. Hall has put into this organization and saving lives and carrying the message, I've never seen another human being do. And I've been to 1 or 2 rehabs. I've been struggling to come right since my early 20s. Which may not seem that long ago to some of you, you know what I mean? But it was quite a while ago, in my early 20s. So light-hearted tonight.
Did your dad say hello? Say hello to your dad and your mom says hello. I'm not saying hello to Wendy, sorry.
Okay.
Oh no, you went back up.
Sorry, I'm getting a bit nasal here because I had to hold my tears in
Some
earlier.
allergies.
And yeah, very blessed to be here on a Friday night, you know, sharing our stories of hope and encouragement and what used to be pain.
Yeah, good.
Do you wanna
Thank you
get
for
me
investing time in me.
some toilet
Tell you,
paper, Vanna, please?
Thank you for investing all your time.
And
all the guys, man.
and I just carry the message that was so freely and selflessly carried to all of us, you know, by Mr. Hall. And today I got the privilege of learning from somebody else's mistakes. If anything good that I learned here is that instead of having to learn from our own mistakes, because like most of us have to learn from our own mistakes, I know. But over here we got the privilege of learning from other people's mistakes. Sorry.
Totally agree with you, Richard. Oh, what's my mother agreeing with you?
Sorry, I can't keep up with the comments.
Mr.
Yeah, no, right, Diana. Garth should be my secretary.
Where did you see that?
But I'm difficult to work for.
Not really.
So, yeah, the one day I get Garth at the famous Caltex garage, where my nickname was Mr. Price, and at a couple of other takeaway shops there in Boersig, Roman's Pizza and at the ShopRite Centre there, and the KFC and the Steers and all of that, where I sold most of my mother's and father's belongings and other people's belongings, and also that Caltex on the way to Slovo there. Disgraceful, but disgraceful.
Yeah, Clutchy. I'm the bodyguard of the farm, bro.
Clutchy could have been the bodyguard, you know what I mean? But he didn't want to come through.
Oh, yeah.
But he'll visit again because we love
next
him.
week you got a battery for his 86.
Okay, unlimited Toyota. We're busy working on a Toyota now, Beams. And what was I saying now? You see, that's why I can't keep up with the comments, Garth. Oh no, so I get Garth there by the garage one day, and I'm selling probably something that belonged to my mom and dad, and Garth has got the shoebox with a speaker on it, and a dismantled sort of you know those volcano speakers. There's one laying over there. Pass here quickly. Now Garth was capable of selling anything, especially when he ran out of petrol. Now you guys see all these connections on the speakers and these nice mobile speakers that you had now. So Garth built one out of a shoebox and sellotape, and I think he painted it red or colored it in with red cokie.
No, use red vinyl.
And oh yes, and it had a USB stick port, a charging port, and all of that. But it was a cardboard box that this oak was put so much effort into to try selling to getting drugs. And then I'm there selling stuff, and he tries to sell it to me. And definitely, thanks a lot, Diana. You know, I must agree with you there that through my ups and downs, or my in and outs of connection with RAEL, which is ultimately Mr. Hall. You know, from 2007, and just prior to that, from when myself and Mr. Hall connected, or when Mr. Hall connected with me. Oh no, Mr. Hall is the Gordon Ramsay of addiction recovery. Now you can go to YouTube, you can go to addiction recovery talks, you can Google rehabs, you can ask addicts in recovery. You know, there was a stage that I was very angry at Mr. Hall. I was angry because of my own shit that I caught on. But I still couldn't tell anybody when they asked for advice where to go for addiction recovery. I still couldn't say it to another place. What? I never once badmouthed Mr. Hall or anything like that, but I always told people that Mr. Hall is the Gordon Ramsay or the guru of addiction recovery, bruh. They you know, I still haven't seen a comment of anybody pop up over here that could comment and give a name that has been so active in addiction recovery and in their own recovery for 15 years straight.
Yeah.
Eat, sleep, walk, talk.
Mr. Hall used to wake us up on the program. Or when I was working in the kitchen, wake us up 4 o'clock. Cup of NC, then we talk recovery before everyone else wakes up. Lekker. It's like having a, yeah, it's a different experience for me, to be honest. I used to enjoy those mornings. Are you going to start going late night meetings?
Yeah, we're just waiting for the summer to kick in a little bit. You know, if I could go to the merchant and to the dealer and sit in nightclubs for a whole weekend at a time, then I need to be willing to do recovery at any time, eh? And Clutchy, you're no lekker. We miss you, Clutchy.
He said he wants to come up next weekend.
Me and Richie also always just miss each other, man. Smoke to see Richie again. And oh, you know, that's what just to sort of end off, unless there's any questions and things like that. I know I've missed a lot of comments, but just to sort of end off is that whose phone is this? Thanks. Is that I think, you know, RAEL and Mr. Hall and his efforts are highly
Lost page.
Highly unrecognized for his efforts and selfless acts that he continues to do. And says that he will never stop. And that's what he said 10 years ago as well. 15 years ago or 13 years ago when he started RAEL, he said he will never stop. Not many people have stuck to their word for 15 years. So this is how we spend our Friday nights. We have get-togethers here and we enjoy the Berg and Bos, but we are nestled in the Breede Valley.
I still thought Berg and Bos was a nightclub. Remember? That's how goofed I was when I came here.
And like I said, New Year's that we celebrate here is on a different level, completely different level.
Next level.
And hopefully Gladwin and Clutchy and all the old faces are going to come and celebrate it with us. And like I said, the reason why you don't see Michelle's name popping up there tonight is because he's sitting directly opposite me over there. And that's what we encourage. Families need to overcome.
I like it in the hall. I mean in the mall.
No, man.
That's what he's saying over there. That time when I said by accident to, what's the name, he used to work here, thingy's girlfriend and they
No.
went to the chick. It was a mistake. It came out wrong. I said they went to the mall.
Do you like it in the mall?
And then
Okay.
I said, do you like it in the mall?
No,
Everyone
man.
laughed at me. I was,
Just that's dirty, man.
sorry,
Garth.
man. I didn't mean it. It's dirty, but didn't mean to come out as dirty.
Okay.
I'm straightforward, man.
So, so that's how we spend our Friday nights now. We might even start a fire just now,
What?
if we feel like it. But serious recovery. We have serious fun here. We taught how to take our living skills back into our own hands from animal level. Like, okay, animals don't have toothbrushes, you know what I mean? So they won't be brushing their teeth at night. But our animals are very disciplined here. They also come from rough backgrounds, some of them, but they too do have the capacity to recover.
Even my Rosen will pity. You must check out like he's great.
Yes.
Yo. Yes, stand like this.
And
Pluto, aka.
I'll be celebrating New Year's here sober, the nice bonfire and music and teaching the guys how to enjoy themselves without having to have to put substance and shit in our bodies, and we can do it in the open because that's how we operate here at RAEL. We got nothing to hide, and that is just what I want to share with you this evening, and
I'll be there.
and definitely end off with saying that, you know, if we follow the guidelines that Mr. Hall teaches, that amazing things can happen for all of us and anybody, even somebody like Garth. And so that's where I spend my Friday nights, over here, because we don't knock off at 5 o'clock. We stay here with the guys. The guys are luckily watching a movie now. They've ended their day sort of. We've had our evening meeting. We've connected with everybody that's here on the program. Nobody's sort of detoxing and things anymore. We've got one guy in our quarantine section, which is normal protocol for the COVID regulations and things like that, and he's doing very well. And in a week's time, you'll be sort of completely physically detoxed and things like that. And a lot of guys that have come in, you know, in the last 3 months that I've really seen grow. I've really seen grow. And so I encourage everybody to help us carry the message, and put on those orange ribbons, and the parents that have been there and felt the pain, and been through it and come out of it, help other parents to come out of it. We in this together. There's no shame in addiction, you know. Like I mentioned the disgusting things that we've done, but haven't we all done disgusting things, man?
Yeah.
Myself and Garth sitting here tonight are doing something about the disgusting things that we've done, and we've been shown how to do something about it. So thank you, Mr. Hall, for the years of self-sacrificing that you've invested in so many lives. Really love you lots. You're one of a kind. Gordon Ramsay of addiction recovery. One hell of a man. Thank you.
Mr. Hall for president. Don't forget.
Mr. Hall for president.
Okay, cheers, guys.
God bless.